anything else, we're going to introduce ourselves first. Good day, everyone. We're here in front to introduce ourselves to all of you. I am Teacher Mary. I'm playing Moana. She's a courageous and young adventurous girl. I am Kenobi. I'm dedicated. I am the trouble of Moana. I am Teacher Liza. I'm a tricky Phoebe. She's been benevolent, beauty of life and creation. I am Teacher Goldie. I portrait Maui. Have multi-faceted character through the use of visual. I'm a crazy cat. She's a driving force and fire and lava. I am Cooker Fatima. I'm a great Sala. She is my spiritual guide of Moana. We're glad to meet you all. We hope you feel it too. Hello, 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 hello. We're your teacher. Good day, everyone. Today we will going to tackle another chapter of our discussion. The chapter 5. The chapter 5 is transparency in assessment. Today we will going to tackle the chapter 5. The chapter 5 entitled Transparency in Assessment. Chapter 5 entitled Transparency in Assessment, Communicating Authentic Assessment Results and Grading and Reporting. This chapter highlights the two important lessons, which are communicating authentic assessment results and grading and reporting. In the landscape of community collaboration, the evaluation of authentic assessment results and the methodologies surrounding grading and reporting serves the pillars of accountability and progress. This chapter delves into the vital connection between authentic assessment practice and how grading system influence the students' academic achievement and how conference should be conducted between the parents and the teachers, fostering an effective learning environment. Let's start with our lesson 1. Our lesson 1 titled Communicating Authentic Assessment. Effective communication of authentic assessment result is paramount in fostering understanding, trust, and accountability among stakeholders. Through clear and transparent communication, the outcome of the assessment process are conveyed in a manner that explain the criteria, methodologies, and implications of the results. This communication ensures that stakeholders, whether students, educators, administrators, and parents, are well informed about the assessment process and its outcome. By providing insight into strengths, areas for improvement, and actionable recommendations, communications of authentic assessment results facilitates a meaningful dialogue that promotes continuous learning and improvement. Moreover, transparent communication results a culture of trust and collaboration where stakeholders feel empowered to engage in discussions, provide feedback, and work together towards common goals. Ultimately, the effective communication of authentic assessment results serve as a cornerstone for informed decision-making, accountability, and the advancement of learning outcomes within educational organizational setting. We have effective communication, the process of sharing concepts and ideas, views, information, and data in order for the message to be clearly understood. To really have an effective communication, there is this acronym that is very easy to remember and easy to understand. So we have the word clear. So clear, C-L-E-A-R. So for the C, we have clear. The C in the acronym clear, the C stands for clarity. Clarity ensures that your message is clear and easy to understand. Use simple language and avoid jargon and provide clear explanations to prevent misunderstandings. Next we have is the letter attentively. Let actively listen to others without interrupting, showing genuine interest in their perspective and validate their feelings and concerns. Effective communication involves both speaking and listening attentively. Next we have is the letter E. The letter E stands for empathy. Put yourself in the shoes of your audience to understand their emotions, perspective, and needs. Demonstrate empathy by acknowledging their feelings and showing understanding and compassion. Next we have is the letter A. We have adaptability. Adaptability is we should be flexible. We should be flexible toward others despite of their differences or despite their uniqueness. We should be flexible what they have or what they are in order for us to have an effective communication. Next we have is the letter R. So the letter R stands for respect. Respect. Treat others with respect and professionalism regardless of their differences in opinion or background. Respect their viewpoints, listen to their ideas, and avoid judgment or criticism. Again, as I said earlier, to have an effective communication, always remember the word clear. Again, the clear stands for C is for clarity, L for is listen attentively, E for stands for empathy, A stands for adaptability, and R stands for respect. So that's for the effective communication.
Now, let's talk about communication. What is the purpose of communication in authentic assessment result? So what is communication? Communication is the process of delivering a message via both verbal and non-verbal methods. We all know that communication is very essential today and in people's lives. With this instrument, communication is the way to convey messages or information toward other people, particularly in school setting. One of the qualities of teacher is to have a good communication skills because nowadays teachers use authentic assessment results that focus into engaging or interacting student, which is very useful to have a good communication skills. First type of communication is verbal communication. When we say verbal communication, it is a type of communication that the sender vocalizes their views through words. In relation to classroom setting, verbal communication is very important because authentic assessment focuses on interacting and engaging students. So by the use of words, students can understand each other and can share information and knowledge towards other students. Second communication is non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication refers to the signs of messages being conveyed through the use of facial expressions, gestures, and sign languages without the use of words. The third type of communication is written communication. Written communication plays a significant role in authentic assessment as it helps students to express their understanding, knowledge, and skill in a clear, organized, and coherent manner. Since authentic assessment focuses on evaluating students' abilities through giving essays, reports, or summaries, that the students will internalize the knowledge or information what they learned. Moreover, written communication is vital in authentic assessment because it helps teachers to monitor the development of the students' learning in the learning process. The last type of communication is visualization. It refers to any method of conveying message through the use of images, graphs, diagrams, and more. In a classroom setting, visualization plays a significant role in authentic assessment as it helps students to better understand complex information. For instance, if the teacher incorporates visualization techniques in assessment process by providing an easily and appealing representation, such as providing images, project-based learning, or real-world scenarios, rather than additional tests or quizzes. As a result, it can enhance students' comprehension, engagement, creativity, and deeper understanding on that specific subject. It can also benefit teachers and students since through visualization, it can create well-rounded and engagement learning experiences. Now, let us talk about the borders of communication in a classroom setting. First is the noises. Internal noise and external noise can act as a borders of communication within a classroom setting, since unwanted noises can disrupt the learning, students to making students to difficult focus in the teacher's discussion. Next is the distractions. Distractions can also affect the communication in a classroom setting. For example, the external noises from other classroom and the internal noise in the classroom, which is the student uses smartphones in non-academic purposes during class time. This distraction can surely get the attention of the students and will disrupt the learning environment. Next is different perspective. Different perspective is one of the borders of communication in a classroom setting. This can occur when the students and teachers came from a diverse cultural, social, and educational backgrounds. That's why their understanding and interpretation of the information may be varied. This can lead to misunderstanding and misinterpretation of the material that can hinder effective communication and learning. Next borders of communication is culture and language differences. Language differences plays a significant role in classroom setting, since especially in a diverse classroom, since there are students came from different cultural backgrounds and might have the same communication styles, which can be difficult for others to understand. This may lead to lack of communication, lack of engagement, because the students feel that their perspectives are not understood or being valued. Next is emotional state. Emotional state can act as a borders of communication in a classroom setting. For instance, if the teachers and students are both stressed or anxious, then they may find it challenging to focus and engage in classroom activities. With this can hinder effective communication and less productive learning environment. Overall, to avoid borders of communication in a classroom setting, it is important to educators to create an environment that promotes inclusive, active, and open communication. Through the use of authentic assessment that focuses on evaluating students' learning, on giving real-world scenarios, meaningful tasks and activities, it can enhance students' skills, knowledge, abilities, and creativity. It can also develop interaction and better engagement in classroom dynamics that will surely use in real life situations.
So we all know that communication is an essential aspect of human interaction, and it plays a crucial role in personal and professional lives. So it is the process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, and feelings between groups or individuals. So now, let us know what we should communicate. So why we communicate? There are some reasons why we communicate. First one, to exchange information, to influence or persuade, to express our thoughts and emotions, to socialize and connect with people, or connect with other people, and also to seek for advice, support, and so on. So now let me discuss to you the general objectives of communication. First is to persuade. Let your audience comprehend the benefits of your point to make them believe of your words. Like for instance, in classroom setting, the teachers conducted a study question after their discussion. First, to make our students answer This allows the teachers and students to communicate the truth to the persuasion of the teachers first. Second is to give or provide information. Providing insights on the subject or circumstances, having clear explanations that clear up misunderstandings and remove misunderstanding. So to give information, for an example, in a classroom setting, the teachers give lectures and discuss new topics for her students, while the students are listening and taking down notes. In this scenario, the teacher gives information to her students for them to know the information in the new lessons given by their teacher. So, and also, it gives the opportunity for the students to study and for the upcoming quizzes and exams. In this case, the communication happens through giving information from the teachers to her students. Third is the seeking information. Acquiring information regarding a specific subject, query, or problems. This can be accomplished through inquiries, research, or asking someone who can provide information. Like for example, in a classroom setting, the teacher asks the students to conduct research or seek for information about the topic and how an advanced study for their quizzes will pay. This can improve the students' research skills and self-assessment. Fourth is express of thoughts and feelings. Expressing others your inner thoughts and feelings is essential for them to understand the study. Like for an example, there was a presentation happened in grade 7, section 1. Every time you are having a group study, the team meeting provides an opportunity for the team members to share, express their thoughts and opinions about their presentation. That's why the presentation was a success, where the leader created a safe space for open communication and fostering environment for trust and collaboration. So in conclusion, we communicate to provide feedback to students, giving them a clear understanding of their performance, strengths, and areas for improvement. Communication in assessment allows teachers to guide and support students. It helps teachers to identify students' specific needs and tailor instruction accordingly, fostering personalized learning experiences. Overall, effective communication in assessment promotes student success, engagement, and continuous improvement, creating a positive and supportive learning environment for all involved.
So now let's proceed to how to communicate by using authentic assessment. Authentic assessment is an approach that uses real-life situations to test the students' knowledge and skills through providing an assessment or task that involves real-world problems. So, on the other hand, it is an assessment of multiple learning points by having the learners demonstrate their knowledge by solving real-world problems. So, when facilitating a communication and authentic assessment, there should be a planning of strategies so that the facilitator or educator would have an effective assessment for learners. And also, he or she should have a clear instructions and standardized requirements for the students para ma-aware din sila kung saan nila pag-grado. But before that, the facilitator should conduct a diagnostic test for learners para mahibaw-an kung unsa ang mga butang na needed pa nga i-improve sa usa ka estudyante. In authentic assessment class, as teachers should clearly discuss the criteria first before assigning a task. Kaya nga naman, kay para ang mga students kay ma-aware po sila kung unsa ang required o unsa ang pag-grade ang ilahang performance. So, therefore, the facilitator
tutor should provide an activities or tasks using authentic assessment to develop their skills and learn new knowledge through creating opportunities and to engage their abilities and different aspects of learning. So that's why communicating an authentic assessment is an effective way of facilitating the learners because it allows learners to express their ideas and to improve their abilities, their understanding and skills, and it is also the best way to determine the progress of improvement of the learners.
These are some questions to consider in making reflections. First, what insight did I gain? What accomplishment did I achieve? How do I feel about my performance? What was the reason behind? And what challenges did I encounter in making that reflection? So, these are some of the questions, but there are many questions to consider in making reflection. Next, we proceed to the types of portfolio. First, we have the assessment portfolio. So, assessment portfolio, it has outcomes that are useful in evaluating the students' capabilities and capacities. Next, we have our second type is the development portfolio. So, development portfolio, it displays how the student has grown, learned, and show improvement. A type of portfolio that always has products from the different period of methods and responses BC. Next, and the last types of portfolio is the showcase portfolio. So the showcase portfolio, it has results that reveals the students' abilities and capabilities. So that's the three kinds of portfolio.
So now let's move on to the next types of electronic portfolios, which is the assessment electronic portfolio. So this kind or classification of electronic portfolio gives facilitators as well as learners to share duties of making goals and assessing their improvements. So meaning the facilitators and the students are collaborating to make some improvements to their skills and abilities. So through the assistance of facilitators to students, the abilities or the skills or the awareness of the students will be improved and developed through the assistance of the teacher or facilitators. So the next is the two kinds of assessment electronic portfolio, which is the showcase. So the showcase, it shows the learner's task. So the example of the showcase is exhibition where the works of the student has been shown to the other person, so that the works of the student will be appreciated, and so that the learners could learn something and motivated to do something better to their task. So the next type of electronic portfolio is the course. So course is used for guidance in the preparation, procedures, and the results of every course. So meaning this kind of type of electronic
a notable funding of time and strength from the learners, it is valid to evaluate consciously that the assessment gives rise to a learner and grade in the process. So, of course, the teachers or facilitators need to evaluate the works of the students to give a feedback and to know which is the weaknesses and strength of the students. And for the students to improve their weaknesses on the abilities they have locked in. So that is the types of evaluation and the two kinds of the electronic portfolios.
Moving on forward, let's have lesson 2. So our lesson 2 is all about grading and reporting. Grading and reporting are essential components of the educational stack, serving as the cornerstone for assessing student progress and communicating their achievements to stakeholders. Grading involves systematic evaluation of student work against predetermined standards or criteria, providing valuable feedback on their understanding and performance in a given subject or course. This process not only guides students in their learning journey, but also help educators tailor the instruction to meet individual needs. Reporting, on the other hand, encompasses communication of these grades and assessment results to students, parents, and other relevant parties. So it serves as means of transparency and accountability, allowing for informed decision-making and fostering a collaborative environment with all stakeholders involved in the student's education. Effective grading and reporting practices play a vital role in promoting student growth, driving continued improvement, and ensuring educational equity and excellence.
Now, let's tackle about the nature assigning grades. The nature assigning grades is the only method of assigning grades that is in line with the proficiency of teaching and learning techniques. Nature assigning grades are grades that the teacher's judgment of the performance of students based on a certain criteria aside from grading the student's performance. Teachers have to inform the students and parents about the academic progress in various learning areas in the curriculum. The example of this is, at the end of the class session, the instructor should be able to identify and characterize the learner's behaviors in order to determine the elements of grading scheme that assess the performance of the students. The objectives in every class session is given to the learners to support this learning and help them move closer to the criteria. Every accomplishment is evaluated and teachers are comparing the outcomes to this criteria. If students does not meet the set criterion, they are expected to reassess their work, revise their papers, or study alone. The process will continue until the students will be able to meet the criterion and standard for pass this.
Before delving into the purpose of assigning grades, it is important to understand how crucial grades is and how it plays a significant role in education. So grades. Grades are used to assess and convey a student's comprehension, ability, and accomplishments in a given subject or course. Grades are a way to assess, evaluate a student's performance and understanding of a subject or course. It also provides feedback to both students and educators, helping to measure progress, identify areas of improvement, and determine the level of mastery achieved. So grades are also serve as benchmark for comparing students' achievements, facilitating college admissions, scholarship opportunities, and future career prospects. So, however, the purpose of assigning grades is to communicate with students, parents, professional schools, graduate programmers, and future employers about the student progress in college, and as a means of encouraging students to create learning and progress, and also to organize a lesson, unit, semesters, to identify course decisions through the grade marks and provide a sense of completion. also, purpose of assigning grades goes beyond just measuring academic performance. It also promotes accountability, motivates students to strive for excellence, and encourage a culture of continuous learning. By providing a standardized assessment system, grades contribute to maintaining educational standards and ensuring fairness in evaluating students' achievement. In conclusion, the purpose of assigning grades is multifaceted. Grades serve as a tool for performance assessment, allowing educators to evaluate students' academic achievements and provide feedback on their progress. It also motivates students to put in effort and strive for excellence by providing a tangible measure of performance. Grades help to establish and communicate learning objectives, guiding students towards specific goals and expectations. However, it is important to note that grades should not be the sole determinant of a student's worth or potential. They should be used as a means to support and encourage learning, provide meaningful feedback, and opportunities for growth. Ultimately, the purpose of assigning grades is to foster a culture of continuous learning, accountability, and achievement in education.
Now, let's proceed to the rationale of assigning grades. What is rationale of assigning grades? One of the primary goals of a proficiency-based grading system is to produce grades that more accurately reflect a student's learning progress and achievement, including situations in which students struggled early on in a semester or school year, but then put in the effort and hard work needed to meet expected standards. If you nearly any adult, they will tell you that failures and learning to overcome them are often among the most important lessons in life. It also ensures that students are evaluated fairly and accurately, provides valuable feedback for the improvement, and maintains the integrity of educational system. So grading rational sorting serves the purpose of categorizing students based on their performance, similar to sorting objects. So grading rational sorting is this approach aims to provide a clear understanding of where each student stands in comparison to others in the class. The importance of this grading rational sorting depends on the specific context and its impact on efficiency, accuracy, fairness, and effectiveness. However, this sorting process has faced criticism at three different levels, each for unique reasons. So, the three different levels are the level 1, the level 2, and the level 3. So, level 1, the concern is that individuals are not being correctly placed into the appropriate groups. Level 2 raises questions about the reliability of grades for effective categorization of students. Level 3 suggests that the problem is not just about sorting students poorly, but about the need to improve the process altogether. So, grading rational motivation. One of the main goals of assessment to motivate students to strive for better performance. So, grading rational motivation is this approach aims to determine the rationality and the effectiveness of an individual's motivational framework in guiding their behavior and decision making. It also helps the individuals and organizations recognize and reinforce behaviors that lead to positive outcomes, making it a crucial aspect of personal and professional development. Next is the rational feedback. So rational feedback, the educators maintain that their goal in assisting students is not to categorize them, but rather to provide feedback for more effective learning. So rational feedback, it focuses on highlighting strengths and weaknesses in the reasoning process and offering suggestions for improvement. It also plays a critical role in personal and professional growth, fostering learning, motivation, and collaboration.
Now, let's have a grading system. So, grading is one of the many activities of a classroom teacher to professionally judge the achievements of the student. So, grading is the process of evaluating and assessing the student's performance or their work, typically based on predetermined criteria to determine their level of understanding, their level of proficiency in the subject or course. So for the grading system of kindergarten, there is no computation in kindergarten, like no computation regarding the say grado, no numericals. However, the teacher use descriptive feedback and assessment to track the child's growth in various areas. So what are these areas? Such as the social skills, the language development, the cognitive abilities, and the fine and gross motor skills. Kumbaga sa grading system sa kindergarten, ang teacher kay mag-solely base sa performance sa bata. Like, for example, kabalo ba siya musulti? Kabalo ba siya muspell? Kabalo ba siya sa mga fine and gross motor skills? That is the basis of the grading system for kindergarten. So they may use like observations, anecdotal records, checklists, portfolios, and standardized assessment to gather information about each child's strength and areas for improvement. So that is the grading system for kindergarten.
Grading system of public elementary and secondary schools. In basic education, the grading system being used is based on the DepEd Order number 33 series of 2004, replacing the DECS Order number 70 series of 1998. The new grading system for DepEd is about giving grades that are mainly based on the student's performance. So, first is the lowest grades or the minimum performance standards for the students in public elementary and secondary schools is at 75%, and the lowest failing grade is 65%. The next is the same standard shall be applied in the students in the bridge program. So what is bridge program? Bridge program are offered to the upper level of students in high school, so entering their first year of college. It is also the transitional programs for the students who are typically hold a 2-year college degree and to obtain a 4-year or a graduate degree. Third, in assessing the learning outcomes, the construction of consists of basic terms, factual information 60%, moderate or difficult or advanced questions 30%, and the higher order thinking skills. Items for distinguishing honor students is 10%. The fourth is grading system by subject shall follow the guidelines in Inclusion 1 and Inclusion 2 of DepEd Order 33 series of 2004. The next one is the test score shall be recorded as raw scores totaled at the end of each grading system and then computed as percentage. This is the formula. So the students score minus the highest possible score times 100. For example, so the student score is 45 and the highest possible score or the perfect score is 50. So 45 minus 50 times 100. So then this is known as table of equivalence. Next is the grade. The final grade shall be determined by averaging marks for the 4 quarters. So first quarter across quarter shall be by subject only. Next is the promotion at the secondary level shall be by subject. So a student shall be retained in a school in a year level if she or he fails two of the 3 units or more during the regular school year and unable to make up the failed subjects during the summer session. So retained students need to repeat only those subjects that they are failed. For grade 11 and grade 12, so this is for general academic strand. So in academic track, the core subjects, what is core subjects? Core subjects are the subject that taught to all students. It is the generic subjects required for all strands. So in written work is 25%, performance 50%, and quarterly assessment is 25%. So in applied and specialized subjects, except immersion. So what is applied subjects? Applied subjects develop the same competencies with different content based on the chosen strand. So specialized subject, it is the set of specialized subjects based on your chosen strand. So written works is 25%, performance task is 40%, and the quarterly exam is 25%. Next is the work immersion or research. So in the work immersion or research, written works is 35%, performance is 40%, and quarterly exam is 25%. So to compute the general average for grade 11, so get the average of the first and second semester, then total all the average in all subject area and divide by how many subjects taken. To compute the general average for grade 11, get the average of first and second semester, then total all the average in all subject area and divided by how many subjects taken. So first is you will get the average in all subjects area and then divided by how many subjects taken. Example, there are four subjects or 9 subjects taken of that student. Next is for the grade 12 or how to compute the grade 12 general average. It's the same process with the grade 11 computation except for the general average. So the formula is grade 11 average plus grade 12 average divided by 2. For example, the student average in grade 11 is 96 plus her average in grade 12 is 95. 96 plus 95 divided by 2 is 95.5 or 96. In conclusion, this is the computation of the grading system of K-12 curriculum.
Moving on forward, let's have reporting to parents. Parents, families, and wider community have a valuable role to play in supporting their children's learning and up beyond school. Effective reporting of student progress and achievement across the curriculum requires more than one-way transmission of information from teachers or students to parents. It requires meaningful, ongoing information sharing process where the role and expectations of students, teachers, parents, and the wider community are clear. To conclude, parents can assist in strengthening the child's deficiency throughout being aware of their strengths, weaknesses, and their academic achievement in school.
Let's move on to report cards. Report cards are written summaries of how a student has been performing their academics over a given time frame, usually a quarter or a semester. Report card particularly includes the grades report card for its respective subject, as well as the comments from the teachers concerning the student's development, strengths, characteristics, and areas that needs improvement. These written reports may include the student's performance on tests and quizzes, projects, oral recitations, and reports, and etc. Here are some ways of how students' progress should be reported. First, it could be weekly or even monthly reporting of grades. Second, it could be conducted through phone calls, sent an email, and letters. Third, through newsletter. Fourth, by conference. And lastly, reports card and online graded books. Overall, reports card play a crucial role in the school environment by enabling effective communication, assess and monitor student, and fostering personal growth. Among students, teachers, and parents. They provide valuable insight into a student's academic journey, helping to identify areas for improvements and celebrate achievements. Additionally, reports card contribute to the evaluation of teaching methods and curricula, ensuring continuous improvement in educational practices.
So now let's proceed to the Parents-Teacher Conference. This is the conference between the students, parents, and students' teacher to discuss the learner's academic performance, character, and overall well-being. In order to support the learner's achievement in school, this conferences enables parents and teachers a chance to communicate openly and exchange insightful information regarding the learner's growth and development views, difficult and their capabilities. Moreover, in some schools set a specific date and time to hold a conference so that all parents will spare a time to attend, most especially parents who are having hectic schedules on their job. So there are two types of parent-teacher conference, the group conference and the individual conference. Group conference is an organization conference usually entails several parents meeting with one or more teachers concurrently. Group conference typically refers to a meeting that involves multiple parents and teachers. It provides an opportunity for parents to meet with teachers effectively to discuss their children's progress, academic performance, behavior, and any other relevant topics. And also, group conference can be beneficial as they allow parents to gain insights into the overall classroom dynamics, interact with other parents, and learn from each other's experiences. It also provides teachers with an efficient way to address common concerns, share important information, and foster a sense of community among parents. During a group conference, teachers present general information about the curriculum, classroom rules, and expectations. They may also provide updates on upcoming events, educational initiatives, and strategies for supporting students learning at home. Parents can also ask questions, share their observation, and engage in discussions with both the teachers and other parents. So there are communication used in group conference. These are the school and class policies content, evaluation procedures, expectations, and procedures for conducting the teachers. So let us proceed to the individual conference. Individual conference is a face-to-face meeting between a parent and a teachers. An individual conference refers to one-on-one meeting between a parent and a teacher. It provides an opportunity for a more focused and personalized discussion about a specific student's progress, strength, challenges, and any other relevant topics. Individual conferences are typically scheduled to address the unique needs of concerns of a particular student. Parents can also use individual conferences to ask specific questions, share their observations or concerns about their child's learning, and collaborate with the teachers to develop strategies for supporting their child's educational journey. Individual conferences allow for a more depth understanding of the student's progress and enable parents and teachers to work together closely to address any academic or behavioral challenges. These conferences can strengthen parent-teacher partnership to promote a holistic approach to supporting the student's growth and development. So that is the two types of parent-teacher conference, the group conference and individual conference.
And now let's proceed to the some tips for organizing a productive parent-teacher conference. So let's have the rules first. Provide a plenty of notification to parents regarding the conference. So recognize that parents have hectic schedules and hectic lifestyles. Hectic describes a situation that is very busy, chaotic, or frenzied. It often implies a lot of activity happening in a short amount of time. So the likelihood that the parent-teacher meeting will take place is increase the amount of notice you provide them. Next is parent-teacher shall take place and end successfully. So keep in mind that parents experience tension as well. Put them at ease by starting with your positive opinions of their children. Once a specific areas of improvement have been identified, conclude the meeting with additional items that will give parents cause for optimism. This greatly contributes to establishing a positive working connection with them. Next is maintain organization. By having a student complete pre-conference from that includes space for comments and follow-up questions, this year, your organization will promote trust in your abilities to help your child as this will be your first meeting with them. Next, have a listening ear. So, while the parents are speaking, actively listen and focus on understanding what they are trying to say. Perhaps you could make some notes as well. You are building a partnership of cooperation with parents for the upcoming school year as they feel understood. Next, provide examples of learners' accomplishment to support your ideas. Show the parents what you saw in the students' coursework and explain the objectives for their learning. Because this shows that the student is motivated to improve. On the other hand, you ought to provide instances of well-done work so they can see how much the students are learning from you. Next, provide assignments to parents. Consider 2 to 3 individualized tasks that parents can complete at home with their kid to support their learning this school year. Although it's unlikely, it's still worth trying. You can offer software, blogs, and worksheets to help them with their endeavors. Next, notify the head of school in case of emergency. So teachers must occasionally request assistance. Once a specific parent group is rather than acting hostilely toward you, a reliable administrator will act as a mediator and look out for everyone's best interest. Hostility refers to behaving or acting in a hostile or unfriendly manner towards someone or something. It involves showing aggression, animosity, or opposition. Furthermore, in the event that the tone of the meeting remains negative, the principal will testify against you. Next is be positive approach. So, dapat mas mild ka when it comes to approaching two parents because some parents are quiet and you will not be going to speak unless the teacher will prepare first. Make sure that you can feel the positive vibes in you. Next is be objective. So in order to assess the students' growth, seek to collaborate with parents by keeping the conversation focused on finding solutions. Next, practice good communication skills. So make sure before the actual conference is that you already know how to properly communicate and how to deal with parents because not all parents are the same. Next is conduct the conference in a private, quiet, comfortable setting. Make sure you provide a quiet and comfortable in order to have a good conversation between the parent and a teacher. There could be some instances that parents need private conference, so make sure to be understanding and respected. Next, avoid bluffing. Bluffing means trying to deceive someone as to one's abilities or intentions. As much as possible, be honest. And last is the end in an encouraging note, the same way that you began in a positive note. This consistency helps to leave a lasting impression and ensures that both parents and teachers feel motivated and supported to continue working together towards the child's success. It also reinforces the idea that challenges can be overcome and progress can be made through teamwork and positivity. Ending on an encouraging note instills confidence and optimism, which can inspire ongoing communication, engagement, and collaboration between all parties involved. So, in conclusion, by following these things, for organizing a productive parent-teacher conference, parents and teachers can work together effectively to support the child's development and academic success, and harmoniously to address challenges, set goals, and ensure the child's educational success. So that's all for the do's in organizing a productive parent-teacher conference.
So now we are done to the do's. Let's now go to the don'ts. So first is stay focused on the topic at hand. So it's easy to stay in self-present topics during the chat, including common passions. But first and foremost, remember why you are having the conference and be sure that it stays on the topic. So next is don't get swayed by emotions. So remain calm and objective while describing the behavior of a single child you have seen. Avoid becoming upset. The parents could possibly follow after we stay calm and reasonable. Next is don't be late. So take all reasonable steps to ensure that the parent-teacher meeting proceeds with a reasonable time frame until the scheduled time is determined. Parents have a hectic schedules and have left everything to get acquainted with you at that appointed time. Respecting their time would have a significant effect. Have a good ambience of the classroom. We all know that throughout the hectic school day, classrooms can become unsafe and tight. But take your time setting up your space, particularly your desk, to create the greatest impression possible. So next is don't give parents too many tasks to complete at home. Instead, suggest 2 or 3 double. Okay, nalipat ko.
Ayaw kay paspasa gani basa para dili ka balik sa 4 na.
Don't give parents.
Ano lang, don't give parents too many tasks to complete at home. Hinay lang. Okay. Okay, basahan.
So, don't give the
Ay,
parents.
balik. The next one.
So the next one is don't give parents too many tasks to complete at home. So instead, suggest 2 or 3 double methods that they may support learning at home. Be specific and give them the assistance they require to help their child. So that are the doubles.
Okay, and that ends our discussion class. I hope you learned something today.
Thank you and goodbye.